It's the 6th of October and I'm Tom Glass and welcome to The Roast. Now, first and foremost to the people of the ACT, South Australia, New South Wales and Queensland, Happy Labor Day. A day when we all get together and say, oh yeah, Labor. Whatever happened to those guys? Tonight we look at crime prevention and how the ability to smell affects mortality, making Inspector Rex a good detective and a healthy dog. Also a good boy. Aren't you a good boy? Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
If you're wondering why grown men were trying to impress Russell Crowe by chasing after a ball, the Rugby League Grand Final was on last night. The South Sydney Rabbitohs beat the Canterbury Bulldogs in what has been described as a fairy tale victory. Specifically, that fairy tale where some people get carried off on a stretcher. This is the first premiership the Rabbitohs have won since 1971, back when Billy McMahon was Prime Minister, Daddy Cool was still in the charts, and Rupert Murdoch was only 80 years old. Undoubtedly, South's players will be partying well into the night. Have fun, boys. Just remember, drinks go in the mouth, urine goes in the toilet. The Bureau of Meteorology, where the weather isn't just small talk, it's life, baby, is going to stop using certain terminology in its weather reports. The words isolated, patchy and widespread have been deemed too vague, meaning they're being replaced by new terminology that's easier for the audience to understand. But if the Bureau really wanted to update their weather reports for today's audiences, they'd sound like this. And if we look at tomorrow's forecast, rain is going to be a thing. Old mate WA is going to get all the wind ever. There's a cold front that's throwing serious shade at Darwin. Adelaide's weather has swag. And Sydney will be trolled by a low pressure system, but that should transition to an adorkable amount of sunshine by the weekend. And finally, Victoria's weather, this. The Bureau of Meteorology plans to replace the current descriptors with more direct words like slight, medium or high. The changes will especially impact Australia's highly trained weather presenters. I'm sorry, I mean former Miss Universe contestants reading an auto cue. The National Film and Sound Archive has marked its 30th birthday, using the occasion to reiterate that dwindling funds could jeopardise the preservation of Australia's film and audio history. And if you know what Australia's film history is, please contact the National Film and Sound Archive. Cleaners in Melbourne's CBD have gone on strike, with office workers being encouraged to bring their own toilet paper to work. If it's anything like lunch, make sure you put your name on your toilet paper or one of your colleagues might eat it. Cleaners are holding out for higher pay, while many office workers are expected to hold it in until they get home. As a result of the strike, companies are said to be looking to hire employees with good aim. And finally, people in several Australian states wound their clocks forward yesterday for daylight saving. And by wound their clocks forward, I mean their iPhones updated themselves automatically. Although clocks were wound forward by 1 hour, clock owners are actually behind the times by about 1 decade. For The Roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Thank you, Mark. Well, next up tonight, crime. Oh, Australians hate it. Unless it happened a really long time ago or means you get Game of Thrones for free. And crime has a new enemy, a $50 million Safer Streets program that provides local grants for measures such as increased CCTV surveillance and better lighting in our streets, parks and community areas. Because criminals are like cockroaches. You turn the lights off and they amass in the darkness. But you turn the lights back on and they scuttle back to safety under a fridge. A fridge that's almost definitely in a Labor electorate, because the Safer Streets initiative has so far seen nearly 90% of the money spent in coalition electorates. Yeah, of course I want my tie back. Okay, it's 5, it's 10, it's 15, 20, it's a different type of 20, and it's... Yeah, you better keep running, you filthy criminal. And the man responsible for overseeing this initiative is the Minister for Justice and guy who wants to sell you real estate, Michael Keenan. And if we can trust anyone to allocate funds in a fair and just way, it's the Minister for Justice.
One of the biggest outlays, $550,000 for 33 closed-circuit TV cameras in the city of Stirling, Western Australia.
Stirling? But that's the electorate.
The electorate of Justice Minister Michael Keenan.
But he's...
the minister responsible for the Safer Streets program.
But that's...
That's the end of the quote.
Oh, so I thought we were doing a thing. Okay, so good news, everyone. You get Safer Streets if you live in Michael Keenan's electorate. But one man who doesn't get Safer Streets is Labor MP and representative for Batman, David Feeney. And look, I know it's pronounced Batman, but it's a public holiday and we're here at work, so just enjoy the Batman joke. Okay, Twitter? So, David Feeney has accused the government of a cynical attempt to cover up rampant pork barrelling after his office requested detail on the approvals process under Freedom of Information laws, but was refused on the grounds that it would substantially and unreasonably divert resources of the Attorney General's Department. So the Attorney General's Department would not divert some funds to investigate how millions of dollars of funds may have been diverted. It really makes you wonder whether there's something they really don't want us to see, or they're just trying to maintain the cushiest work environment possible.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'd like to put in a request for information about the allocation of funds for Safer Streets program.
Oh, but I just logged off.
Well, it's freedom of information, so...
Oh, do you have any idea how many keys I'm going to have to press to log back in?
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm entitled to know.
No. Put it on the pile with the rest. I'm penciled in for a shit.
I'm sure it's the lazy thing. It wouldn't be the trying to hide gross misuse of public funds to get votes thing, would it? Maybe someone should put a surveillance camera in that office. We'll be right back.
Have you ever failed to give information about the unequal distribution of resources by saying finding that information would itself be an unnecessary distribution of resources? How lazy is that? Man, you're lazier than, a guy who, that we'd love to... At the Roast TV or hashtag Roast TV.
And finally tonight...
Tom, I've got your results.
Oh, I didn't realise I was sick.
You're not,
Oh, thank God.
but you are failing chemistry and biology.
I'm not studying either of those.
Clearly.
This is killing us this week. So, Death, what's killing us this week?
Inability to smell.
Right, researchers in the United States have found that a poor sense of smell is a strikingly good indicator of imminent death.
Imminent death, Tom, touches a little fishy to me.
You mean it smells fishy to you?
Not anymore, Tom. I choose not to smell. As a representative of big senses, we've had it up to here with smell. You don't pay your lobbying fees, you're deader to me than a person who can't smell properly.
But according to the research, loss of the sense of smell predicted death more accurately than did a diagnosis of cancer. So next time you're stuck with a fart in an elevator, you should remember to appreciate how great it is to be alive.
Tom, at Big Senses, we strive to ensure the interests of the important senses aren't outweighed by the shitty, lesser sense. Remember our motto?
Big senses, full's plenty.
But according to this study, a loss of smell could be a warning sign that the body is entering a state of disrepair and is no longer capable of repairing itself.
Yeah, so they say.
Well, the researchers tested around 3,000 people's ability to identify a range of smells and found that 39% of study subjects who failed a simple smelling test died within 5 years, compared with just 10% of those with a healthy sense of smell.
Well, there's an easy solve for that, Tom. Don't take the deadly test!
Tests don't kill people.
Yes, tests with guns kill people, Tom. Blah, blah, blah. Tell me something I don't know.
Well, the tip of the olfactory nerve, which contains the smell receptors, is the only part of the human nervous system that is continuously regenerated by stem cells.
I knew that.
Yep, so if they stop regenerating, it could be a sign that you're on the way out.
It's not taste, sight, touch, or hearing, Tom. It's smell. I can live without smell.
Well, no, you can't. That's what I've been saying. Have you been listening?
Huh? No, I hate hearing.
Are you using any of your senses?
I also hate breathing.
That's not a sense, Nick. Is it? Nick? Oh, for God's sake. Could you get him out of here? He's going to stink up the office.
Don't be cute. A man just died.
Yeah, all right. Good night.